So I really think my girlfriend is hallucinating. She keeps telling me she's seeing other people.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Welcome to Across the Table, the podcast of Hannibal the Magician.
Well, my friends, and welcome back. Thanks for tuning back in. It is episode 59 of a very sporadic kind of a podcast thing that I've got going on here. Welcome to Across the Table. I am Hannibal the Magician, and I search for that identity every single day. I spend more time wondering who I am or what I am becoming than you probably need to or want to hear about. My former wife, in a typically very wise declaration, once told me that I would find my joy once I remembered who I was. It was in a very dark period of my life, and she just laid it right on the line and told it like it was, and told me that I would find my joy when I discovered or remembered who I am. And I'm still searching for that. I'm not even quite sure entirely what it means. If I am just being, is that not who I am? But something inside me tells me there's something else and something more. The date today is March the 8th, 2021. International Women's Day. A good day, which should be every day, to honor, respect, and remember the women in our lives and in our worlds who made a difference, who made a change, who lifted us up. My entire life is filled with wise and not so wise women who taught me many, many things, and I am grateful for each and every one of them. And another day I would like to talk about that, but today I picked up the microphone and plugged it back in for a completely different reason. Maybe something somebody else needs to hear. The time right now is 11:10 p.m. I'm in Hollywood. I live here in Hollywood in the shadow of the Magic Castle, waiting for it to reopen and wondering if I will have a place there when it does. Some actions that I've taken and words that I've said that I honestly meant and spoke from my heart have been taken as troubling from some people, and I may have jeopardized what I will put quotes around as my career. And if that is the case, if I have hurt someone with my words completely inadvertently, I will accept and understand and take whatever punishment comes along with that. I spoke what I believe was the truth, and I meant what I said, and I did not do it in the aim of hurting anyone. I did it to try to improve things, to try to improve the world that I live in. And we all make mistakes, and we all say the wrong things. I don't believe what I said was wrong, and I don't regret saying it, because I believe, we'll talk about that another day. You know what, that's not something, I'm going to get myself sidetracked if I'm not careful. Note it down and ask me about it if I don't bring it up again. I'll talk all about what I said, why I said it, and what it means to me. Another day. Today, well, actually, let's start a little bit before today. Let's start last night. I live on a residential street. My little apartment building sits on a nice tree-lined, orange blossom-scented street in Hollywood, California. And I'm very grateful for it. I'm very pleased with the neighborhood I live in. I find a lot of beauty in the walks that I take. I went out to my car last night because there's several different things going on in the neighborhood right now. We switch sides of the streets depending on the date for street sweeping, and one can get a ticket if one is if one is parked on the wrong side of the street. You can get a $70 ticket for being parked on the wrong side of the street on street sweeping day. There are also several construction sites going on around, and there are signs that seem to be mobile that in certain places and in certain times you're not allowed to park there because they anticipate having heavy machinery or heavy equipment coming through. And so they put up, no parking, 6 to 6 on, et cetera, et cetera. Went out to my car because I thought it might be a good idea to move it from where I had it parked. It's not a street sweeping day, but it was near where a construction site was, and I thought it was a good time to go out and move the car. Got to it and found that I had a flat. Had a flat in my passenger side front tire. And, okay, that happens. I thought about moving the car to the other side of the street anyway, but as it turns out, there were too many cars parked on that side, and I would have had to have taken it a couple of blocks before I found an adequate parking space. And with a flat tire, it was just, out of the question. It was in the evening, late into the evening, and I just didn't. I thought, well, I'm not going to put the spare on now. I'm not really driving anywhere. I'm not in a red zone. I'm closer than I would like to be to the construction site, but I'll get it taken care of tomorrow. Well, it's probably time to buy new tires, though I can't afford them. But let me see what the odds are tomorrow. No use worrying about it or reacting to it this evening. And I went on to bed. Things have a way of taking care of themselves, I thought to myself. And, if I need to replace that tire, okay, I can make that happen. If I need to replace more than one, it's going to be trouble. But, we'll work with that and we'll worry about it tomorrow. Nothing you can do about it before you go to bed tonight, Mr. H. This morning, I got up and got dressed and went outside to see how bad the tire was, what I needed to do to get it taken care of. And the car was towed. It had been, I'm not entirely sure what the reasons were because it wasn't a red zone. And at the time that I parked it, there wasn't a sign up about the construction site, although where my car had been, a sign had been posted about not parking between 6 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. And at any rate, my car was towed. It was not there. There was another car in its place, but mine was gone. So I came back in and assessed what I have in the bank, what I've got, what I can do to take care of this. In addition to, the tire still needs to be replaced. So I contacted Goodyear first because, before trying to deal with City, I thought, let's get this taken care of. Contacted Goodyear, found a set of tires that I could afford, and ordered those. Pre-ordered those, at least set them, made a note that that's where they were, so that I could get them, should the time come. Went to Los Angeles Impound, or on the internet to see what was going on, typed in my car ID and found had in fact been towed for being in a tow-away zone, almost right in front of my apartment building. And the cost to get it out was $300. And if I did not pick it up today, the next day it was going to be $380 because it's like an $80 to $87 overnight fee. So it had to be done today. I pulled what resources I had together, had just enough to get that taken care of. Took an Uber over to the impound, and got there and presented them with my registration, and I was told that my registration had lapsed 7 days ago at the beginning of March. And I can't blame anyone but myself. It slipped by me. I don't recall getting anything in the mail about it or getting an email about it. Nevertheless, my registration had expired, and I need to replace that, or get that up to date before they can release the car. I went online. Lucky me. It's available to be done online. Renewed my registration for $200. And I was told by the impound that as long as I get there by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, they will not charge me this overnight fee. They open at 8. Deadline is at 9 a.m. If I can bring proof of registration and or my title, they'll go ahead and release it to me. I still have the problem of having a flat tire, but maybe they can inflate it and I can get home that way, and we'll work out the replacing of the tire at another time. My registration for my car this year was right at $200, so all the money I had for pretty much everything has been tapped. And that was my Monday. I will wake up tomorrow morning, take care of the problems that I am able to take care of, hopefully get my car back to my home and in a safe place, and then worry about the tires then. There was a time in my life where the series of events that just kind of fell along those lines would have crippled me. And I'm not going to say that it didn't knock the breath out of me this time, because, it did. I felt I had a little breathing room as far as bills go and as far as everything else go, and because of my own, I didn't flatten my tire, but I did not move my car either last night when my gut instinct should have told me to do so. So through my own fault, through my own overlooking the risk of whatever it was, it cost me $500, and the last $500 that I had. It was earmarked towards rent and towards bills and towards other things, but we'll worry about those things when those things come along. I'm not going to complain, because here's what else happened today. Today I woke up and I was warm. I had a warm blanket covering me in the slightly chilled temperatures of the LA day. I opened my blinds and the day was sunshiny and the sky was blue. And I went into my kitchen and I had food, and I was able to fix myself something for my breakfast that was actually healthy for me, because I'd planned ahead. I had several friends out of the blue contact me to tell me that they loved me and that they were thinking of me, and they sent me things that were funny and stories that were real. And in the mail today, I received a book that I've been waiting to receive from Derek Delgadio, who wrote his memoirs in a book called A Moral Man, and that's all one word, A Moral Man. He put it all together as one word, and the bit that I got to read today was moving and soul refreshing. Someone sent me a piece of art, a painting that they had made. They sent it through the mail because they know that I enjoy such things, and it brightened my day and it made me smile. In the Uber on the way over to check on my car, I heard 2 different songs that I haven't heard in years, and both of them just really made me smile. And I was watching, the people on the sidewalks and walking in the sunshine. And the people at the impound, the people that were helping me out at the impound, were incredibly helpful and very friendly, and not at all, brusque or judgmental or anything like that. They seemed genuinely doing the best they could to help me out with my situation. And I got home and I thought about all the things. I'm able to fill my lungs. I'm able to walk around my block. I'm able to sit here and talk to you and send these words out. And it's what I was talking about in a video blog last week. If you follow me on YouTube, you've seen it, but it's reaction versus response. And my reaction happens on the inside. It's your immediate, the thing that happens immediately. It's your reaction on the inside. I was fearful. I was concerned. I was frustrated. I was angry. But my response was on the outside, and the outside response was to be thankful for the things that I do have, and not for let me rephrase that. To also be thankful for the obstacles, because I'm learning something. I may not know exactly what it is just yet, but I am learning something through all of the obstacles that are being tossed in my way. And I made the choice to not respond to those things in a negative or harsh manner to the people around me. What good would it do me to get mad? What good would it do me to show my frustration and gnash my teeth and raise my voice? And the answer is nothing. In this particular case, raising my voice might have even made things a little worse, So I made the choice to not to. I made the choice to do my best to understand and to try to love and be kind through it. And so at the end of the day, I am at peace with all of the things that have come in my path today. Because while I got financially strapped, I also received art. I received a man's thoughts. I received a woman's paintings. I got to reflect on my mother and my grandmother and my aunts and the women that I've loved and my daughters and the women that have shaped the world around me and made the world a better place, the heroes sung and unsung. And I realized that I have not been the best ally I could have been. I've tried, but maybe I could have tried harder. And all I can do is offer a promise that I'm going to keep striving to be better, to be a better ally, to be a better man in this world, and especially to the women that are in it with me, to all my fellow travelers. Do my best to show kindness and respect and love. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share. You have the opportunity, reaction is whatever it is that's just going to happen, but how you respond and what you put forth and what you put out on the world is what's going to count. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be sad. But finding a way to cope and finding and realizing that the path goes on and that outwardly, in most cases, outwardly being angry and taking steps, to raise your voice and assert your rights and your what you feel you deserve. Maybe that could take a step back. We could simply respond with gratitude, even for the obstacles. I hope there's love where you are.
I may not know exactly where this road is taking me, but I know that I'm exactly right where I'm supposed to be. The journey is long, full of joy and pain, but as long as you're smiling, I'll stand in the rain. I've got nothing left to give other than love. But the funny thing about that is love is everything. I hope there is love where you are. I hope there is love where you are. I may be a liar full of tricks, but if you'd open up your eyes, you would see nothing but the truth behind all of my lies. I broke every rule and I bore every boulder, and I carried the weight of the world on my shoulders, and I've got nothing left to give other than love. is love where you are. I hope there is love where you are. I hope there is love where you are. Anyone can wave a wand and make all their heartache disappear and call it art. But without heart, you've got nothing but illusion. Anyone can wave a wand and make all their heartache disappear and call it art. But without heart, you've got nothing but illusion. I hope there is love where you are. I hope there is love where you are. I hope there is love where you are. I hope there is love where you are, my friend.
I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. Bye.